The desert at night feels like another world, silent, endless, and ancient in a way that presses against your chest. I never believed in curses or restless spirits, but the moment I stepped onto the excavation site for our latest dig, something deep inside me whispered that we should never have come. Professor Malik, our team leader, was convinced we were about to make the greatest archaeological discovery of the decade. He had found sealed blueprints of a lost burial chamber belonging to an unnamed guardian, someone entrusted with protecting a royal sarcophagus no one had dared open. The locals refused to guide us. They said the tomb was watched. They said the guardian still walks. We didn't listen. The entrance was buried beneath layers of sand, but after hours of shoveling and brushing, a stone doorway emerged, covered in carved symbols. These weren't ordinary hieroglyphs. Some seemed scratched in haste. Others gouged into the stone like claw marks. A warning, not a decoration. Inside, the air was heavy, stale, untouched for thousands of years. Our lanterns flickered against walls painted with scenes of a towering figure in ceremonial armor, always standing between the people and a massive coffin. His eyes in the paintings were unnervingly lifelike, as if following us. "This must be the guardian," Professor Malik said. "A protector. A servant of the tomb." A protector of what? We reached the inner chamber just as the sun disappeared behind the dunes. The atmosphere shifted colder, darker, almost as if the tomb awakened with the night. At the center of the room stood a stone coffin, huge and covered with symbols of sealing, banishment, and eternal vigilance. "Open it," the professor ordered. My hands trembled as we pushed the heavy lid aside. Dust rose into the lantern light. Inside lay an ornate sarcophagus of polished black stone, much older and more ominous than anything outside it. Chains wrapped around it, each link carved with protective spells. "Someone really didn't want this opened," I whispered. Professor Malik ignored me. "Break the chains." We worked in uneasy silence. My mind kept drifting back to the murals, the painted guardian who never looked away. I felt his eyes burning into my back, and then the chains snapped. A sound like wind rushing through a narrow tunnel filled the chamber, but there was no wind. There was no movement, just that eerie, hollow whisper that seemed to rise from the stone beneath our feet. We lifted the black sarcophagus lid. It was empty. At first, we thought we had made a mistake. But then we noticed the impressions in the ancient dust, the shape of a human form that had once lain inside, but had risen long ago. "Professor," I whispered, "something was here." Before he could respond, a lantern shattered behind us. Darkness swallowed half the chamber. A low, scraping sound echoed from the corridor leading to the entrance, slow, deliberate footsteps dragging across the stone floor. "Who's there?" One of the workers shouted. No answer. The scraping came closer, pacing, as if something tall and heavy was walking with stiff legs. Our remaining lantern flickered violently, shadows dancing across the walls. And then we saw it, a towering figure standing in the doorway, wrapped in ancient armor, its body covered in cracked, darkened linen. Its head was tilted at an unnatural angle, and empty eye sockets glowed faintly with a sickly gold light. The guardian, the keeper of the forbidden coffin. Its chest rose slowly, as if drawing breath after centuries of silence. And then came the voice, deep, layered, echoing from somewhere far beyond the chamber walls. "You have opened what must never be opened." The professor screamed for everyone to run, but there was nowhere to go. The guardian stepped forward, each footfall shaking the chamber. When the lantern finally went out, I felt hands cold, dusty, impossibly strong brush against my shoulder. I sprinted blindly through the tunnels, guided only by faint moonlight leaking through cracks in the stone. Behind me, the guardian's footsteps echoed steadily, never hurried, never stopping. I barely escaped as the tomb crumbled behind me, sealing itself once more under a storm of falling sand. Our team never returned. The desert swallowed the entrance again within a day. Now, years later, I sometimes hear the same dragging footsteps outside my door at night, slow, patient, as if the guardian is still searching, still hunting, still protecting the coffin I helped unseal.